A 30-day I Am Nigerian campaign kicks off online. Nigerians in the UAE affected by a change in government policy on work permits for unskilled workers hope to carry favor and change negative perspectives.
Before now, Nigerians have this opportunity here. If you have given us the opportunity before, it's not a right, it's a privilege. We appreciate them for that. We commend them for that. In fact, kudos to them. If there is anything that we want to make them to change it, we want to plead with them in a short form that they should reconsider our people.
It's now 7 months since hundreds of Nigerians have been jobless and in some cases homeless. Work permits granted by the Labour Ministry have been denied applicants new to the system as well as others who have been working in the country but cancelled their contracts to join new companies.
I tried and keep trying, and the company told me they need to start the project. So since they're not able to get the approval of the work permit from the authorities, they would have to defer my appointment. So that's how I got affected.
A work visa is the most common route to getting residency in the Middle Eastern country. This means all those who lost their jobs have also lost their residency status. Doctors, nurses, teachers are categorized as skills level 1 and 2. Under recent circumstances, their applications should be granted, but some in this category have also been affected.
If you are working as a customer service and your profile is having a waiter profile, then automatically there's going to be a problem when you want to renew your documents because it falls under skill level 3. So it is not going to be something that will be achievable as it is, since there is a problem at hand.
Even less than a week ago, there was a communication between myself, the leadership of pro-Nigerians in UAE, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And he gave another assurance that he's in contact and is working on this issue with UAE government. That is all we can say. What exactly they are doing, we may not be able to say. But the word of the Minister of Foreign Affairs is clear and sound that they are working and they are discussing, engaging and consulting with UAE government.
It's unclear why these restrictions have been introduced. Officials at the Nigeria High Commission say the UAE is repositioning for its next 50 years. Last April, the UAE cabinet adopted a strategy for talent attraction and retention aimed at placing the UAE among the top 3 countries in talent attraction and availability of highly skilled employees. However, many jobs denied Nigerians today are still open to other nationalities. Expectations are high that the Nigerian government will continue to engage the UAE government until there's a favorable resolution, especially since the UAE Foreign Commission recently opened a visa application and document attestation center in Lagos, Nigeria. In the meantime, the UAE Ministry of Labour has provided residents an opportunity to contact the minister on matters of concern. Some Nigerians claim they have received favorable answers through the portal. So maybe all hope is not yet lost.
Yeah, welcome back. That challenge about work permits renewal is where we're starting off with, as you may have seen in that welcoming slide. Kaide Ogungbon joins us. He is the president, professional Nigerians in the UAE, as well as Esther Adidokun, who is a resident of Fujairah in UAE as well. Good morning, both of you. Thank you for joining us today on the program. Well, Kaide, we just saw you on that in that report. So if you could just bring us up to speed What is the current situation now about this work permits, non-renewal of work permits for Nigerians?
Yeah, good morning, Shembale and Kayode and the third person. Sorry, pardon me for not able to recall your name. The issue is a bit complex because the job permit is not issued to some category of employees in UAE. It's not general. There are categories 1, 2, 3. We heard that the category 1 and 2 are going successfully. We also heard information that through our members that some in that category 3 are still going. It has been on ground from July 2021. We have consulted the Embassy of Nigeria in Abu Dhabi, likewise the Consulate of Federal Republic of Nigeria in Dubai. Also, we are in contact with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on this issue. Nigerian Diaspora Commission was also contacted. The chairman, Senate Committee, the vice chairman, Senate Committee on Diaspora, Senator Oluri Egbe, and also the chairman, House of Rep on Diaspora was also contacted. I'm aware that the diplomats in UAE, that is the UAE embassy, ably led by His Excellency Ambassador Muhammad Dansatarimi, and the Consul General, Her Excellency Taibat Atinuke Mohammed. They are all working on it, but so far we have not been able to get the result we are looking for, which is we want the privilege of employment of all categories. All categories. Let's mark that. We don't want certain category. We want all for Nigerians in UAE. That is the update.
Right. You know, we reached out to some of those agencies which you spoke about, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, NIDCOM, as well as the Nigeria's rep in UAE, and they're not able to make the show today. So are you able to tell us a little more specifically, what is it that they arrived at when you say they're working on it? I imagine that this has been the narrative for a while now. So what does that mean when they say they are working on it? How far or close? Has anything been achieved? What specifics are they working on?
Let me give you an illustration. If you have a dog and the dog dances when you are coming, and at a point, the dog starts barking at you when you are coming, you must know that there is something. Unfortunately, there is no specific statement from the government what the causes of this are. But I think we'll still have to talk to the authority, the embassy, the consulate, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to furnish us with details on this. I think precisely as I said in the report you showed earlier, the pro-Nigeria leadership cannot say in specific terms what they are doing, but the assurance they are giving us is that they are working on it. And we have every reason to believe them because they are the one that consult, they are the one that relate with the authority in UAE, they are the one that know what they discuss. So we may not be able to say specifically.
All right, let me bring in Esther. Esther, could you tell us, what is your own challenge?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Esther, and really, I'm going to tell you my situation. It's so critical that I had spent my savings, had to come back to Nigeria, then again I had to come back into the UAE because my husband stays here. What happened was that around last year, I used to work in an hotel, right? Whereas I used to be a nurse back in Nigeria. So fortunately for me, I got a job here in the UAE as a nurse. So, I have the option then to just leave whatsoever job it is I'm doing in order to pursue my career. So I got my job offer, and then I just got the shocking news of my life that they could not grant me a visa or a work permit. Then I was like, how? I don't understand. I don't get why. They were like, the portal is closed for Nigerians and all of this and that. And then I was like, oh, okay, let's see. So I was given, on the norms, I canceled my residence for the fact that I resigned from my previous place of work. So I was given 28 working days as a grace period to remain here in the UAE. And, for the 28 days, it was so very difficult for me. The only grace I had was that my husband was still working and he is still here. So that's just the only means of survival for me, because I could have a place. Just imagine me not having anyone here. I could have a place to sleep. I could have someone to feed me. Until after.
Sorry, Esther. Just to follow up on that, before you go a little further, so when you said you got that notice, it was cancelled before they gave you the 28 days period, was there any warning before that time? What reason did they give?
Yeah, actually, before I cancelled from my previous company, I was hearing the rumor that they weren't giving work permits to Nigerians, but there are other companies like free zone companies, government companies, the semi-government organizations, that they were giving work permits to Nigerians. And those people were not really affected. But for those working under the Ministry of Labor and some kind of LCC, they aren't giving them a work permit. So, and by the time I got to my company, my PRO made me understand that it is an authority, like getting to the Ministry of Labor, that it was rejected, that there are no work permits for Nigerians.
What reason was
what
given?
They were told.
What reason was given?
Any reason.
Okay.
Nothing. No. You just told us that the portal is not open for Nigerian work permits, that Nigerians are restricted on the system.
Was there any message from any other Nigerian who's been affected that this was the reason that they got, or this was the reason that was given to them?
A whole lot of messages. We've compiled all of our documents, the messages that was gotten from the Ministry of Labor to back up all of this information, the emails we got, and even calls. When it got to a point that we had to keep on calling the Ministry of Labor every now and then. And the moment you call them, they keep telling us that work permits are restricted for your nationality right now, actually. So we found out that after some time, at around December, we called them and they told us that, yes, work permits are going for Nigerians. And quote me, they said, work permits are going for Nigerian females, for all skilled levels, for new issuance and renewal. But for the men, it's going to be skill 1 and skill 2. The work permits, renewal, and issuance is going for them. That was the information we later got. But even upon hearing this information, I kept on trying. My company tried once more, despite the fact that they had told me that the work permit was available for female Nigerians. Still, it wasn't going through.
So I know this is nearing noon where you are, and it's sad to think that there are a lot of Nigerians who actually traveled there with the hope of, as you said, furthering your career or getting things better, and they're not doing anything right now.
Nothing, because I had to come back after the 28th grace period. Sorry to cut you short. My husband had to struggle, had to pack everything he has. I had to book my tickets to come back home because already my residence was cancelled. So I don't have an option. And at that moment, I had an issue. My passport, I had like 6 months to expiring on it. So there is no way I can remain. And at that period, we had issues at the embassy. Passport renewal was taking like 2-3 months or so. So I just had to exit the country in order not to have immigration issues. So I had to exit. I had to come back to Nigeria. I did my passport, and then I had to come back to the UAE again to come and retry.
Wow. I just want to quickly get this from you before I go back to Mr. Ogugbon. So he mentioned the categories, 1, 2, and saying some on 3 are being granted the work permit, or the work permit is being renewed. As a nurse, which of the levels do you belong to?
I am in level, that's skilled level 2, because my certificates are attestated. I have my certificate attested at the UAE Embassy in Nigeria, Ministry of Education, Foreign Affairs in Nigeria, and also attested here in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in the UAE.
Okay.
We have doctors among us also that is a doctor and has been working here for more than 10 years, but still his work permit wasn't renewed. So
Okay,
the fact that I'm hearing some Nigerians saying it has been renewed, no, I can't categorically I can tell you that for those that had their visa renewed, it's either they are under a free zone company. Free zone company aren't affected with this issue. Right? And those working in the semi-government and the government aren't affected with this issue. But for those that are working, that the organizations are under the Ministry of Labor, they have to issue work permits, they have to sign a labor contract, we are affected. And I must tell you that 90% of Nigerians staying in the UAE have their companies under the Ministry of Labor and Immigrant.
Okay, Mr. Ogungbon, so she says that, I mean, it's not everyone on that 1, 2, and some in 3 that are being renewed. And she gives her example and says, in fact, it's 90% of Nigerians that are under Ministry of Labor. So it implies that majority of them have that challenge. So when you said those on level category 1, 2, and some on 3 have their work permit being renewed, did you say it in that context, or was it absolute?
Yeah, I talk on based on the statistics I have as the leadership, as one of the leadership of Pro-Nigerians. We ask our people and they share the information with us. People that got renewed shared with us. People that did not get renewed also shared with us. So this is not about the person of Kayode Ogungbon. It's on the information that we receive from the membership of Pro-Nigerians in UAE. There is possibility that she have people that are not renewed. Yes, we also have people that are not renewed, and also have people that got it renewed, sincerely. So if there is opportunity for those that got renewed, that are not even on free zone.
Okay, Mr. Ogungbon, just a minute. When you was Esther part of those who you reached out to get that kind of confirmation?
Yeah, I did not get in touch with Esther. I don't have Esther's contact before now. And I'm not sure she's member of Pro-Nigerians in UAE. If she's member of Pro-Nigerians in UAE, we used to share the information anytime. The first time this happened, the people
Hold on, hang on. So wait, if you're not a member of Pro-Nigeria, whether you're a Nigerian, you're affected or not, you don't get what? Any information, any benefits, any attention? Is that what you're saying?
No, not so. When we have platform for communication, people that are on that platform, we hear about the communication and they will share the information with us. That is what I mean by that.
So is it that you never got any message or that type of message that she just spoke about from any quarters whatsoever? No kind of feedback?
We have people renewed and we have people that are not able to renew. We have both. We have both the information. For the free zone she mentioned, yes, free zone have no any problem. But for people that are in the onshore companies, they have problems. Some of them have problems. Some of them also have it renewed. That is the message I'm passing across. This does not mean that that problem is not there. The problem is there. And that problem is calling for attention of everybody that can assist us to resolve it. The problem is there. People are not able to renew some people are not able to renew their employment. Some are not able to get new employment. Some that want to change employment are not able to do. We are aware of that, and we want it to be addressed. But that does not mean that it is total zero. No, that is the message we want everybody to get clear.
Well, Mr. Ogungbon, it will sound like there is some targeting somewhere. Okay, go ahead, Esther.
Thank you very much. So I wouldn't want to be saying things that, but I would want to correct an impression. If we are 100% number of people in Nigeria and 2 people aren't getting work permits, it should be a general problem. Even if some people are getting work permits, for the fact that some Nigerians are out there. See, let me tell you, sir, the only grace I have right now is because I don't have a husband here in the UAE. What happens to those single people that are out there? I do not have a job, they do not have money to exist in the country. I don't know. Those people are so much more in the streets. So right now, for those people getting their work permits, they only have to grace. Now it shouldn't be talking about some people who are getting and some people who are not getting. This should be a general problem for everyone right now. Even if you're getting a work permit, we should just do it. But for the fact that 90% of people aren't getting a work permit, it is a zero. That is the impression I want to give to you. All right, okay. We can't get we have other nationalities here in the UAE. We have the Bangladesh, we have the Philippines, we have this. If among this nationality, if two people aren't getting a work permit, I know what those people can do. We don't have to be divided. All right,
Esther, just a second, Esther. Let Mr. Ngbo react to some of the issues you've raised. Mr. Ngbo, please go ahead.
Injury to one is injury to all. But we have to put the record straight. If, for example, she said 90%, even 99%, the 1% in need to make 100 is also significant. So the point is clear. This problem is there. Channel television know a little about what we have done. We have not folded our hands, even when we are not authority. We are consulting with the authority. We are speaking with people. I used an illustration before. It was not like this in in February last year. What happened? What happened before the dog that has been dancing when seeing us started barking? What went wrong? At a point, we don't, even to date, we don't have a specific cause that is communicated to us officially. But we also know one or two things are happening. And the next thing we should do is we should talk to ourselves. It's unfortunate that people are being affected, yes, but that does not say that we should not do what we're supposed to do. As we speak today, we should be talking about solutions. What are the solutions?
The question then to ask, first of all, Mr. Ngbo, would be, because you heard when we asked her, what is the reason for all of these? And she says no reason was communicated whatsoever. So that's what I would also want to find out from you, especially in the light of what you said, that it's affecting some people, it's not affecting some people. Is there some targeting happening somewhere? What exactly are the reasons that you may have found out?
Well, as I said, there is no official communication on the causes of this issue. There is no official communication to anybody. Because when it happens,
what could be the reason?
What could be the reason? Any reason we say now is speculations. And it will not be ideal to come and speculate on issues like this. Any issue, anything we mention now is going to be speculations. We have some speculations, but it's not meant for public discussion like this, because there are things we have to work on. But everybody have to work on it, so that if I thought those are the things that UAE government consider to take this decision, they should be addressed. That is our concern.
But do you feel insulted that no reason has been given for this? I mean, I try to flip the roles sometimes and imagine that, will this have happened in Nigeria, and Nigeria will not give a reason, and the country will not think, why do I do such a thing? So I just want to know, do you feel insulted that this is happening without a reason given?
Well, for us, we are not happy that we don't have specific reason, because if we are able to get specific reasons, we will be able to address it specifically. Unfortunately, the authority that's supposed to speak on this, I don't know if proper communication has not taken place, and that should be the embassy and the consulate or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They will be able to mention if they have reason, but they have not communicated that to us. So maybe we can communicate with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Nigeria Embassy in Abu Dhabi, and Consulate of Nigeria in Dubai, to get if there is any specific reason to them.
Well, yes, we reached out to them. We're hoping that they can speak up on this matter, because there's so many people who want some clarity on this same matter. But Esther, in addition to your response, have you gotten any message from many government officials whatsoever? I mean, for those who are affected by this?
No. Well, I think those that went to the embassy, because actually when they went to the UAE embassy, I wasn't around, still in Nigeria. From the information we gathered, we were told to bring the documents of those that were put for evidence purposes, for them to have an evidence that, okay, this thing is really going on. And trust me, they have submitted documents for around more than 100 documents for them to back up this theory. All right, so I'll just quickly chip in something. If we want a solution to this problem, what we need is unity. Because right now, all I'm saying is we are divided. I do not know, I see no reason why they will say for some people that are in pro-Nigeria, I don't know, they are having a work permit because they've entered something and some people aren't getting it. See, if the UAE government has an opportunity to listen to this conversation right now, they would think we do not know what we are doing. All right, so the thing should be, even if some people, if 20% of people are getting the work permit, all right, it should still be Nigerians. I mean, what I just did and what's it's paining me right now is for the fact that you're saying some people are getting work permits. It shouldn't be. If 100% of Nigerians aren't getting work permits, then we are not getting it. Please, I really want the president of pro-Nigeria to please. Let's be united. I don't. It shouldn't look like some people are doing this and some people are doing that, and so no, it shouldn't be like that. It should be that we are in this together. It looks shabby. It looks shabby when just imagine if a UAE government official is here now. They already have reasons to be backed up that Nigerians are getting work permits. At the time someone is saying someone in skill level 1 and 2 are getting the work permit, what does that mean? You want to tell me that the other nationalities in the UAE, like Bangladesh or the Pakistan, they're on this skilled level. They don't have, most of them do not work with their educational certificates. So as Nigerians, shouldn't be an exception. We shouldn't be an exception now.
I don't know if I can also have some.
All right. Okay, the issue now on ground is
if I can butt in here, Mr. Ogungbohun, this is going to be for you. I know that Esther is pretty upset about the situation right now, but this is going to be for you, Mr. Ogungbohun. I want to know, I think it's your own group that started this campaign, this I Am Nigerian campaign. Am I correct on that?
You are very right. But not pro-Nigeria specifically, but we are part of it.
Okay, what informed that decision to start that campaign?
Yeah, we saw the problem and we linked it to an illustration that if a contractor is working for Channel Television and by chance the contractor, maybe one way or the other, something happened, and Channel Television blacklisted the contractor. And the contractor is not doing anything and kept applying for contract from Channel Television. There is possibility for Channel not to give. We know, as we said, that we don't have any official reason why this issue is here, but we speculated that there are some things happening among or done by Nigerians in terms of not obeying the law of the host country, one way or the other. And that led to, okay, what could be the solution? The solution is to speak to ourselves, to be law-abiding. The solution is to appeal, to pacify the UAE government, to change their decision and allow all category of job to be given to Nigerians. Because these jobs that are not given to Nigerians are also being given to some other nationalities. So what we are saying is they should. That is why this campaign came up. After this campaign, there are some other activities that we have lined up just to make sure that, okay, if there is any problem, we should be able to address this problem. One of it is to make sure that we have our database.
I'm going to take you up on some of the other activities which you have lined up after this break. Please stay with us. Well, thank you for staying with us. Mr. Kayode Ogungbohun and Esther Adedokun are still with us from the UAE, and we're talking about this issue of work permits. Well, Mr. Ogungbohun, you are talking about just some of the things that you had lined up in addition to the I Am Nigerian campaign, which you said you had to come up with as a result of what has been going on in the UAE. You say you have some speculative reasons as to why the UAE government might have might have gone down the route that they've gone down on, and you think that this I Am Nigerian campaign will persuade them otherwise. Is that, did I capture that correctly?
Somehow corrected, but as I said, whatever we say is speculation. Let's have it that way. And speculation is not enough to take any decision. So we thought, if those things are real, what can we do as Nigerians to first of all address ourselves? We have talked about this, I Am Nigerian, to make sure that we project ourselves. If you look at the campaign very well, we are trying to talk about the job we do here in UAE and the way we contribute to the economy and the well-being of people of UAE. Number one. Number two, we said we should look at, okay, if it's possible, can we have our database? Can we make our diplomats to be available for us to talk to us whenever there is any concern by making them available on social media and the website, and also communicate freely. We thought of that, and that is ongoing. We also thought of communicating with our people. If they have any complaint, instead of calling labor directly, immediately, is there any means we can communicate to ourselves so that we will reduce the number of times we lay complaint at the labor? These are part of what we put in place. We are also taking another step to engage the pastors, the body of pastors in the UAE, which are African pastors, to assist, to speak with the youth, so that coming to anywhere outside Nigeria, they should ensure that they respect the law of any country they are going to. And I want to use this particular opportunity to speak with the general overseer of our churches, Baba Adeboye, the Oyedepo, and so on. When these youth are leaving Nigeria, they should remember to respect the law of the country they are going to. It's very important. If they are violating the law, they have, visa to any country, employment opportunity in any country is by the creation of the country. If they choose not to give visa to anybody, there is nothing anybody can do about it. But in this regard, we have the privilege before. Since we have the privilege before, we think we should also have the privilege. And it's not our right. As you ran it in the first report you showed us, it's not our right. It's a privilege. If we have had it before, whatever that may want to make them to withdraw it, we want them to reconsider and give it to us so that it will be given to all people and all category of employment, not about level 1 or level 2 or level 3. That is our concern, and then we are really pleading to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the ambassador in UAE, in Abu Dhabi, and the Consul General, and whoever that can be of help to us to look into this thing and resolve whatever that is there diplomatically, so that everybody will be happy and Nigeria and UAE will have job as they used to have before.
I was going to ask you how effective this campaign has been. Would you say that you've seen fruit that it has yielded as a result of this campaign, or would you say that attitudes towards Nigerians are also changing as a result of these campaigns?
This is just the 14th day of the campaign. The only thing I can say is that Nigerians are now aware that there is problem in our hands. Maybe before they thought it's a joke, but now we are aware that it's because what started in July last year, and that is still here now. And if you just fold our hands without doing anything, we might not be able to go anywhere. So precisely, it has made us to leave the stage of denials. We have come to the reality now that there is issue that everybody have to address. And this is everybody's responsibility. individuals at work should show love and care and commitment to their employers and to their co-workers. Anybody doing anything contrary to the law should try to stay away from that, so that at the end of the day, we will have good name and we will have good reputation as Nigerians everywhere we go. Not only in UAE, everywhere.
Well, Mr. Ogunbowu, is this happening to other nationals who perhaps are suggesting...
Sorry, please, can I chip in something?
Okay, Esther, just a minute, Esther, you will. Okay, just 1 second, Esther. Mr. Ogunbowu, is this happening to other nationals who, for instance, are not complying with the laws?
We heard that some countries have had such experience before. I have not seen any document to show for that, but we heard some countries have had such experience before. But in this, we just want to, because as I see, I want us to know that visa issuance is at the prerogative of the host country.
Yeah, we know some of those things, Mr. Ogunbowu. Just hang on a minute. Do you have any assurance now that the ministry officials are doing something about this?
As I said in the report you ran earlier, based on the word of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, he said they are working on it. He said it.
Esther, go ahead, please.
Yes, please. I want to correct something in between what Mr. President has just said. I don't want us to have this impression that it's because of the atrocities committed by Nigerians. That is why we have this issue. All right? Nigerians aren't the only nationality in the UAE that commit crime. Not just in the UAE. We have. I'm not here to stand for people that does those things. Of course, I am bluntly against them, but I want us to correct this impression that this has nothing to do with the atrocities committed by the Nigerians. If you're talking about atrocities, we have nationalities that does worst things compared to whatever it is Nigerians are doing here. This is the diplomatic issue, and we want it resolved. Now I'm going to chip in something. Do we notice that all this thing started to happen after it was almost 6 months when there was a flight ban between Nigeria and the UAE? If we had to believe that if this flight issue is being resolved within weeks, or if let's say within weeks and a month, this work permit issue would be done. All right, this thing it's a diplomatic issue. I don't want us to chip in. And Nigerians are committing stuff. We have to talk to our pastors, like Papa Deboye or Papa Ide Police, to talk to their members. No, it's a difference when you talk to people, and it's a difference when people get to use it. When you're well trained from home, wherever you get to, and if you know whatever you're going to do out of your father's land, you should know whatever you're going to do there. So it shouldn't be about our worship, our pastors talking to the members that they should portray a good attitude out there. No, this has nothing to do with our pastors right now. This is a diplomatic issue between both governments, and we should remove anything called atrocities. Atrocities that has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with this.
So Esther,
right, that's actually what I wanted.
So for you, did you have any police record? Have you been arrested? Have you broken the law? Trying to understand why this happened.
I have never been arrested. That is why I said it has nothing. That's why I said it has nothing to do with this. I have never been arrested. I do not have a police record. As a matter of fact, my previous company, in fact, I am the best. Up to this moment, my managers, my HR, my other colleagues, they still want me back there. All right. So I have never, if we're talking about having a police record, then having atrocities being committed, it is understandable. Then if for me that I do not have any issue with UAE government, then my work permit should be done. Then we can understand that those people committing atrocities are those that are affected. It shouldn't be those of us that has been living in UAE for more than 3 years, or for those people living more than 10 years. I do not have their work permits renewed or issued.
Well, Mr. Ogunbowu, so it will seem from Esther's point of view, she doesn't have a police record. She hasn't done anything. If anything, she says she's even the best where she works, so she deserves to get that work permit renewed. So I think that just trumps the argument of whether or not this is related to some Nigerians, committing crime or whatsoever.
Evidence for me to show the best. I can show you my certificate.
Right, Esther. And I think, Mr. Ogugbo, it will make sense to both of us. Imagine if one Coyote somewhere commits a crime and they say that all Coyotes have to suffer for that. I mean, it doesn't quite make sense. But let's talk about what government is doing, because it would seem you're holding brief for government, and you are not government. I mean, let's be fair on you. You are not government. You're doing this out of the love you have for Nigerians in the UAE and the rest. In terms of government, because we have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have other representations, we have Nigerians in Diaspora Commission and the rest. We have representation in the UAE as well. Has the government done enough from your point of view?
That is a question that is very difficult to answer for me, because I don't know what they are doing. I don't know the step they are taking. I'm not part of the system of government. So if you ask me that question, it will be difficult for me to answer. I don't know the meeting they are holding. I don't know the consultation they are doing. I don't know what they are doing specifically. But when we ask, I'm telling you authoritatively, we have spoken to the ambassador of Federal Republic of Nigeria to UAE. Also had the pleasure to speak with the Consul General of the Consulate of Federal Republic of Nigeria. I've also been opportune to speak with the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
When last did they speak to you, or did that conversation hold?
Well, the one that I had with the Minister of Foreign Affairs about 2 weeks ago, two Mondays. Today is Monday. Yes, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, precisely.
What about what about the others?
Yeah, others we are talking regularly, because
no, specifics, please. When last the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission? When last did you speak with them?
Nigeria Embassy. We still have discussion yesterday, and it is and even the consulate. Still yesterday, we still have discussion. But what we are talking about is what is the way out, because we know. So what
was the outcome of the meeting? Was there any hope? Is there anything being done? How far? How close to achieving, at least resolving the challenge?
Chamberlain, I want to direct you to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the embassy, and the
Mr. Gugu, I'm talking about the conversation you said you had with them yesterday. Did you get an indication that they're close or far to resolving the challenge?
The conversation is not about the outcome of the result from the UAE government. What
were you then talking about?
Then let me answer.
Was it a dinner?
What? Yeah, give me the audience. Now, what I am responsible for is, we have said we noticed some things, which any Nigerians in UAE, we say these things, they cannot always be kept under the carpet somehow. So we are concerned. That is what we have within our own power, the association. We are not authority in any way. We cannot take any decision. We can only
all right, Mr. Ngwo, just to give us a few numbers, how long has this travel ban been for, and how many people can you say from your records have been directly affected?
The number, what Esther said before, when this thing started, we reported to the embassy. Embassy said it's not so. Listen, please. Listen, please. When they said it is not happening, we came back to people. If you are affected, bring evidence, including your Emirate ID, to show that you are working before. Name of the company, to show that you are working before. Response from your company why your job cannot be renewed.
Well, Mr. Gugu, we need to close this segment now, but we just want you to give us some numbers. When did this start?
We submitted up to 100 names of people that are affected already.
From your own records, or that you know about? Because there are other records. There are other news reports all over the place that say as much as 500 people have been affected.
From our own record, Pro Nigeria submitted about 100 lists with the name of company and Emirate ID.
Since when? Okay, so when did this start? When did this whole thing start?
It started in July 2021.
Okay.
It started in July 2021. And we submitted that, I think September or October, or thereabout. And I know many people have been affected after that. And people that are not able to get new job could not get anything to submit.
All right, Mr.
Guo. Those who do it again, it's much.
Okay, Esther.
Please.
Esther, let's have your
closing
thoughts on this matter. So what exactly do you want the government to do?
My closing thoughts. Oh, okay. Actually, my closing thought is, first thing first, I would want to please plead with the president of pro-Nigerian in the UAE to please, whenever he's giving us any information, it should be legit. We don't want to have him, since he is the one representing us right now. Because right now, since he's been the one in touch with the UAE embassy, the consular, you should please speak on our behalf. Tell them what it is we are going through. And if you're coming back to give us a report, bring us a legit information with a confirmation that you've had a reasonable discussion with our representative, and then do let us know what our hopes are. And to me, I would want to say, really, I used to be, anywhere I go, I used to say, I am proud to be a Nigerian. I am proud that I am a Nigerian. But right now, I don't know what to say, because really, my government has failed me. My leaders, they had failed me. The fact that when you go to bigger organizations in the UAE, when they called you for an interview, like me, I'm going to make an instance, sorry. When I was called for an interview, my interview was done, and wow, my COO was like, wow, this is brilliant. And then when he asked me, where are you from? At first, I felt reluctant, and I was like, okay, I'm from Africa. He said, yes, I know you're from Africa. Where are you from? Then I said, I'm from Nigeria. I was like, whoa, Nigerians, Nigeria. Then I had to convince him to make him have another mentality, a very good one about us, that we are good people. So what I want you to say is, our government, they should please do the right thing. It's going to 8 months already. They shouldn't abandon us here. They shouldn't abandon our citizens, their citizens here. We place them there for them to take good care of us. We can't say that we've been having this issue for this long and our president isn't aware. No. That's why we have the ambassador here, we have the consular here. They should talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. They should relate this issue to the president. Then he should do the right thing for us to be on our stable mind. All right? We have families back home to take care of. Okay, whatever it is we are making from it, we are not saying in the UAE, Nigerians in diaspora as a whole, whatever it is we make is what we send back. That is what is generating the income of Nigerian as a whole.
All right, Esther.
Right? It's so bad if we are out there and we don't have anything to do. Please, we want the solution as soon as possible. When we mean as soon as we mean ASAP, like we mean starting from this moment. It's a Monday. It should be Esther. And you should start doing the right thing.
Yeah, that is understandable. In fact, you remind us of that Nigerian taxi driver, Abraham Aradion, who returned over 100,000 in Dubai to the owner. So there are several others who are doing good, and we should highlight those ones as well. So, well, here's to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Well, you heard them there. So it will be right to do and act as quick as possible. So all the other agencies, Nigerian Embassy, NEDCOM, they'll be looking to hear from you, to say the least. Well, we have to thank both of you for talking to us today. Esther Adedokun, who is a resident in Dubai, as well as Kaide Ogungbo, president, professional Nigerians in Dubai. So you might do well to get a lot more, to broaden the net and the scope, as you may have had, to get more feedback. Thank you both, and we wish you all the best. We will be back in a moment here. Don't go away.